Welcome to a brief tutorial on using EnlightenAI to give students immediate feedback on written assignments. I'm currently using this feature for my students on journal entries using the RACE strategy as support for them as they move toward grade 10 and the OSSLT. So currently in our board, as of this recording, educators log in with Google and students log in with email. Now, my students are logging in via Google Classroom. Google Classroom is very easy to set up, and if you're using Shobi, you may want to have Google Classroom set up to assist if you want to try Enlighten. There are other options to bring student work into Enlighten without Google Classroom, and there are options forthcoming on getting other platforms working with Enlighten. However, for the immediate feedback, it's currently only working with students logged in to Enlighten. So I'm going to show you what that's like. Okay, so this is my dashboard in Enlighten. I'm going to show you how to create an immediate feedback assignment in Enlighten, and you will be able to see what the students see, and then also what you will see as an educator reviewing that feedback. So I'm going to go ahead and create an assignment. And as you can see, you've got traditional grading and immediate AI feedback. This is in beta, so it's not, there are a few little glitches. I find it works pretty well and the students enjoy it. Even with the little glitches right now, I'm going to go ahead and pick that. And disabling pasting, that prevents your students from generating text somewhere else and pasting it in. This is going to be a journal entry, meal with a celebrity. My students are going to write at least one paragraph, and you can give them attempts. So each attempt, the AI will give them feedback and a grade, and they can make more attempts. This is great for them using feedback to improve, which is more of a learning skill. You can also see how they're using the feedback and if they're understanding the feedback. So I'm going to give my students 4 attempts. I'm going to select a rubric. So I'm going to use this rubric that I've created using Enlighten. Context for your AI assistant is going to help the AI give feedback to your students. So first, you're going to need the writing prompt. The students see the writing prompt right in Enlighten. So my prompt is, if you could take any celebrity to your favorite restaurant, who would it be and why did you choose that restaurant? And then I also have a little bit of scaffolding for encouraging students to use a RACE format. They're grade 7s and 8s. They're still learning how to use the RACE format. So I'm giving them a little bit of support there. And I've put some optional ideas in there for what they can put into their answer. Now, a reference text can be generated by the AI. I have not personally used this, so I can't speak to it very much. But I'm assuming that if you put in a text that they had to respond to or talk about, that could be helpful in that area. And exemplar student response, I'm going to get back to that in just a moment. And then specific rating and feedback, I have my type of feedback that I want the AI to give. So my feedback, I want it to be written in simple language and then always given in the following format: strengths, point form, needs, point form, next step. And then for the next step, always attempt to make the next step something that can apply to many different written assignments, not specific to this one. I'm going to use the AI to generate an example that will help the AI to give feedback. So I'm copying my writing prompt because I'm going to use that. So when I create an exemplar, you can change different AI tools here. There's a bunch of different tools. However, I'm going to use the exemplar creator. And I'm actually going to pick a lower grade level just to ensure that the AI is writing, hopefully in a more realistic way to this way the students are. I just put in my prompt there, and I'm going to generate. Now, Enlighten does not give you little bubbles or anything to show you that it's working. So this one is quite a bit, it's pretty long. So I'm going to have it adjust to 1 to 2 paragraphs in length and change the celebrity to an NHL star and going to Tim Hortons. And I'll send that. So you can adjust what the AI is producing. Looks pretty good. I'm going to add that to my document because then I can save this. I'm also going to copy it. Journal, celebrity. You can access your saved documents here. And there's AI tools built within the word processing as well. So I've copied this example that it's made. I'm going to put that in. And now I have my writing prompt, my example, and some specific grading and feedback instructions. It says recommended. I would say that uh, you are definitely going to want to do that. I'm going to preview this as a student, and this is what your students will see. So it gives them the prompt. This is where their score will show up, and the feedback will be here, and they are going to type in here. Now, when students are typing, there's also going to be a save draft, and you're going to want to encourage them to press save draft, because I've had students leave this window and their work disappears. So if you encourage them to save their draft, they may avoid that. So I'm going to actually put in that example and see how it grades it. So your students, obviously, if you've disabled pasting, they won't be able to paste in. I'm going to submit this for feedback, and this is what they're going to be seeing. So right away, I noticed that it did put my feedback in point form, strengths, needs, next step. And then obviously it was a very good example, and I got very high marks on it. Now, if I took out a sentence, let's say the first sentence, and submit for feedback, I should see the grades change and the feedback change. Now I noticed that it did not put the feedback in the way that I wanted, but my marks did adjust. So this is what students will see as they adjust their work. They get their work back each time, and then they can adjust it and submit it. And they get as many tries as you give them, up to, I believe, a maximum of 4. So I can just check that this is working. So now my assignment is created. I'm going to publish this later so that it doesn't show up right away. If you publish the assignment, the students will see it right away in their Enlighten and in Google Classroom if they're doing Google Classroom. Publishing later, you go to your class and you should see a little publish later, publish assignment option on your assignments. So mine is published later. I am going to go back. Oh, and I have to change my assignments. There we go. Now I'm going to show you what that looks like to you as a teacher once students work. This is a different journal prompt I gave them. You'll notice my screen gets blurry because I'm going to protect student data. But I am going to go to one of my classes, and we're going to look at their Tuesday journal. Now you'll see that one of the entries is Google Classroom. This is students who submitted it through Google Docs. They don't get immediate feedback, but I can still grade it. The one that has the Enlighten icon, the students did get immediate feedback, and I can see their different attempts. So I'm going to go to the Enlighten one to see the immediate feedback, and I'm going to press grade. Immediately, you can see how many attempts each student used. Now, one attempt could mean a lot of things. It could mean that they spent the entire time working on that one response. It may be that they tried once and then they didn't do anything again. You are going to be able to see all of their attempts, the feedback that it gave, and you can actually adjust the final attempt in terms of grades and feedback. So we're going to take a look at what that looks like. So I'm going to review scores. And this is what you're going to see. So I can look through this student and I can see their first submission and their grades and the feedback. I noticed, first of all, that it did not give them feedback in the way that I asked. Second submission, their grade went up. They added more details. Again, the work is blurred, so you'll have to take my word for it. The feedback is not generating the way I wished it to. However, the student was obviously using some of the feedback. And then by the time they get to the fourth submission, their grade actually went down a little bit, but their feedback displayed the way that I wanted it to. And you can pick how you grade this. If you're looking at mastery, you may take the highest grade that they achieved. I would also recommend that you compare your own professional judgment with the feedback that it gives, because sometimes the AI misses something that you will catch on to. So this is what it gives, and you can save and continue. And so what I really like about this immediate feedback is that you can use it for many different things. So if you want to have students do a quick reflection, it could be great for brief exit tickets. The students get immediate feedback much faster than you would be able to give them that feedback. You can see if they're using the feedback. You can see the grading. Again, it's still in beta, so it doesn't have all of the kinks worked out of it, like all AI tools. However, my students enjoy using it. Some of my students who are hesitant writers, I find actually making more attempts because the grading happens right in front of them.